Welcome peeps to my final thoughts of Stonesaga. Now this video is going to be in two parts, don't worry about that, they'll be all in this one video. Indeed. I just want to do a video with 9 days to go because I think I've completed my research. Yep, I'm backing it for $1. Don't you worry, this is just balancing books and stuff, and I don't get paid until the middle of the month anyhow. So it's not like I'm going to be able to pay for it when it ends at the end of the month, as it were. So, yeah, no worries. Anyway, it's getting close to $1 million, and it's 1339608. Awesome stuff. Now, when I first covered this on my channel, it was a critique. I was critiquing everything. I'm not criticizing anything in this video because it's going to be a positive video. My final thoughts are definitely get your ass on this. Back it. Of course. Look at this art, it's so beautiful, isn't it? There is one concern I still have, but I think it's going to be answered by the time I do part 2 in the second half of this video, but I'll just explain that. It is going to be a kind of a medium weight negative. So, I had two concerns. One was, what's the scope of the campaign? Well, the story is all about your actions as your character. So basically, this world you're in is not ours. No. In fact, the whole valley used to be a glacier, and as it started to recede, the glacier, it's opened up this beautiful land. But as it's opened this up, it was apparently you couldn't get in here before. So it's untamed lands, but as it's beautiful pastures, it's brought more things in. Enemies are going to be coming in, and these behemoths will be coming in. But there is mysteries in this land. For example, you can see this skull here, a skeletal hand coming out here. That suggests there was like a giant walking around. I don't know. So, what happens is, as you start doing stuff in the world, there is event decks and stuff, and these event decks are going to be teaching you about the world. And there's going to be something called lore, and the more stuff you discover, the lower value goes up, and that lower value is going to help you do stuff in the world. That's going to be an important part of doing stuff. For example, you might come across an enemy, and if your lore's high enough, you'll understand that that enemy is safe, or you'll learn that it is dangerous and you need to attack it or run away from it. So you kind of learn stuff through this lower value, and the lower value is going to be put on one of these dials, so it kind of you can keep it going. Now, depending on what events are turning up around you, you are actually going to be choosing certain paths that you want to go down. And one of these paths could be, I want to be a little bit more militaristic in defending my camp. Or I want to be nomadic. I want to travel. I don't really want to put down a permanent base. I want a base that can actually move with me. Like become a nomadic tribe. Well, you can do that as well. And as you go down these different play styles, depending on how you're reacting to your setup, you're going to be starting to fill in the plot of your character, and that's where it's going to get interesting. But for example, if you do set up a base, you're going to be able to put up things like palisade walls and really fortify your home base, build massive buildings for having more people in there, and to have healing centers and workshops for crafting and things like this. Because when those behemoths come, you can definitely take them down, but you're going to need to be watching them to see them. They're going to have predictable paths, the behemoths, and you need to kind of strike them when they're at their weakest, and you need to be as much prepared as you can get going in. So that's going to be really delicious to do. The game, though, is not a monster hunting game, that's for certain, and the 4 behemoths is the maximum that the game has promised. So I know people are shouting for more behemoths in the comments at the minute, but unless it's a secret 2 million stretch goal, we don't know, but it doesn't look like that has been promised. they're actually saying in the comments for the collaborators that there will be no more behemoths. All right. Now, when it comes to these paths, though, you might feel like you want to do farming, so you've got food easy, so you're not out hunting all the time, and you know, you might want to just move out of the area because you've got everything from the area, you gathered everything, or the area is just getting too aggressive. The events are coming out, and it's just too dangerous. You've got to move. You've just got to move region. Like, there'll be certain things that you've got to fight up against and all this good stuff. Now, other stuff I've learned is... now, before I go down, I just want to firstly go to this YouTube channel. So let's just switch to that. Now, we're at the Ohm Games YouTube channel, and it looks like they've not got that much stuff. Playthrough, episode 6, episode 7. How do I find these other episodes? Well, YouTube, in the idiotic wisdom, they have hidden things. So, for example, there's no shorts, otherwise there'd be a short button here. But they do have a live button. You've got to hit the live button to get all of the episodes. And you can see that I've been watching all of these. I certainly have. And I've been mining as much information out of these as I could. And it all sounds fabulous. It really does. It's got me really, really ecstatic about it. And it's got me to a stage where, even though I have a few negatives on the game, I think the positives they surpassed them completely, where I can forget about those little things. My little issues are basically issues, but it's all prototype anyway, and could possibly change. The concept of everything does sound fantastic, I'll give it that much. So yeah, if you want to get on the gravy train and learn more about it, this is a great path to go on, from the idea, world building, the art, a fantastic video on the art, all this good stuff. The crafting one's really good, dynamic loops, friction, like what are you going to be coming up against? Base building's wonderful one to watch as well. Like there's none of these I can say that aren't worth watching. And even the live event one is interesting as well. Alright, let's jump back to the Kickstarter. But I just want you to know that this live button here is where you'll get most of the information, and this information is going to be more than what any of the playtesters played, so you're going to get more info here. Rightio, so the world is going to be your discovery. You're going to be writing the story as you do things. What's really cool though about the game is, as you go through time, move away from all this stuff, let's just go to the box. As you go through time, the mini games that are like the fishing and the foraging, that will change over time. Absolutely. You'll do stuff in the game where it will ask you to change the decks, so that's going to evolve through them. There's the lower dial, the blue one here that you couldn't really see before, but now that I know it, it's lower. So yeah, when it comes to item cards, as you can see, there's loads of these to get from. There is like a vast amount of them. A lot of them do go fantasy as well, so you don't need to worry about that. And you are going to be creating like armor and things for you to especially help yourself in combat, so that's going to be good. Now these primal wall sheets here, these are for you to actually draw a picture of events that happens to your tribe whilst you're playing. But if you don't feel like drawing on a piece of paper like this, you can write in the journal what you're doing. In fact, the journal will be good to write down the recipes as you discover them, especially when it comes to cooking, as cooking is basically throw all these things in a pot and see if anything comes out. Not my favourite way of cooking. Actually, I actually abhor the system of just throw things in and see what comes out of the other end, to be frank, but it is what it is. Apparently though, if you get the cooking expansion, you're going to really appreciate this at the start of the game, and it will give you buffs to the things you're doing, which is going to be delicious. So yeah, if you're not up for drawing, you could just draw it in the journal or write down what happened to you on your journey. Right, let's go to the updates. I want to go to update. Oh, before I go to update, I do lots of things here. Right, so meals and myths. If we look at this, it's going to add a 5th player, a new behemoth, some new items to craft, a cookbook with cooking cards, new region tiles, challenge cards, goals, characters, knights, discoveries, outposts, items, structures. There's a lot in this, right? 20 new meal cards unlocked, 2 challenge card unlocks, 5 cards unlocked. This is like a very meaty expansion. But when you compare this expansion to the next one, Nature of the Beast, this doesn't have anything like it. It's got an extra terrain tile, but everything, you got the same amount of cards that you're getting, and that's about it. The only thing you're getting then is the animal companions, and these are quite good because if there is 5 players, you can have one of these each. You can potentially have all of them and just have them hanging at your base. I don't know if you're going to be able to build a little nursery or a farm to put them on to keep them safe. I don't know. But it does come with some structures, so maybe they are focused on the pets. So this does look a little bit lightweight. You are going to get 6 companion miniatures. Maybe that's where the cost of it is. But the other one had a new player, it had a new behemoth, and here it looks a little bit lightweight. It also had the cooking stuff, a new mechanic, and this just has the pet feature. So hopefully this is going to unlock more content, because Nature of the Beast does sound expensive considering it's the same price as the cooking expansion, which looks to be great value. So this is a little bit of a concern. If it stayed like this, I'm not too bothered anyway. I'm going to go all in on this campaign, but it's a little disappointing, I guess, if for value reason, this box for me. Alright, let's go to the updates. 9 at the minute. I've told you there'll be a second half of this video when we look at the new stuff, but I want to record this as my knowledge is good. Rightio then. Legendary resources and items. This is gonna be great. Late game resources, and some of these resources are going to come off the behemoths as well, so hunting definitely on the cards. Look forward to that. New game mode, open-ended survival. Yeah, you're going to be able to keep going. You're going to get a bit of a taste of this actually when you play the game, because it'll say, do you want to go into the next epoch of the world, or do you want to keep going and find out all the side quests and things that you're doing, you know? And so you get a little bit of what that could be like, and yeah, that does look really interesting if you want to just keep continuing, because for some people the game is when the game opens out. When you start playing the game and you've got all the knowledge of the game, and we'll then need to see what this game mode, how that will then push people with knowledge of the world, what's that going to give them. Yeah, more discovery cards out there to get more lore and find how mystical this world is and stuff, and the expanded delving. This is potentially caves that you find in the other epochs, so more mysterious caves later on. I don't think these are going to go straight into the deck and make caves make the cave deck bigger. I think these are going to be late caves. Alright, there's the behemoths. Alright, so there we are. So yeah, a little bit sad that the second expansion is a little lightweight. A little bit sad there's not another behemoth coming out. I think I'm with every backer who says that now. There was one thing I couldn't find, and that was on the player boards. On the player boards you've got hearts there and how warmth you are, it looks like, little fire token. Why is that not dual layered? You're putting tokens in there. It is a little bit weird that the player mat doesn't have that. Yeah, I would like you to get like more mantle powers, but I think as the mantles work, you might be able to upgrade the mantle that your character has, so they do become a little bit better. And there's going to be cool things in the world. For example, fishing later on in the other epochs, that you will be able to fish things like legendary fish and stuff like this, and that also could be delicious as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about the world. Actually, with it being fantasy, there's a more fantastical element of it because it is not necessarily our world. The only similarity is, you know, you look up at the stars, it's the same stars, and they have a little bit of similar things, but as you walk around there's giant crystals, there's different animals that are alien to the planet, behemoths are alien to this planet, so you know, you do feel like you're in the fantasy world, but as a caveman there. So yeah, it does sound really good. Now I will be coming back part 2 to look at the updates from pre-$1 million, I'd say, and we'll be looking at the last, I guess, 7 days of content drops as it gets towards its end campaign. But as it is 9 days out, I'm so excited for Stonesaga, and if you've not noticed, in this past week I've updated my banner art on my main page. Et voila, and there is Stonesaga. Yeah, art is really good, isn't it? Super cool. Anyway, let's jump to the part 2 of my video where I talk more about the updates. Alright, part 2 of my Stonesaga final thoughts. I want it just to mature as we're getting into the last days. We've got the final stretch goal out, confirmed now, and so let's take a look. I've put it in Canadian dollars so we can see. The final stretch goal is 1.5 million Canadian. So hopefully it can actually bring in that money in the final hours, as it were, as we approach. As you know, with most Kickstarters, it has a U shape, doesn't it? So in the final hours, we should see it go over this, as we saw recently with the fantastic Witchbound Kickstarter that just went bananas. It was under its 150,000, and then it kind of jumped to 165,000, so it went way above. It actually pushed the developer of Witchbound to put like another kind of stretch goal past the final stretch goal, which was to include a mini. And I wonder if Stonesaga does go over the 1.5 million, will they scrubble up another one? But anyway, that would be fantastic if it does. They've kind of said that if they don't make the stretch goal, it's not going to continue into the pledge amounts, but I never enjoy that, really. If you've got a long list of stretch goals, they should carry on into stretch goals for all these people that are doing $1 pledges. They're a backer like everybody else. They always end up backing out. They always end up backing in. Anyway, One of the great things over the course of this campaign, of course, has been that the developer has been doing beta testing. The actual designers have been pushing the prototype out into game board shops and have been testing it out to see how easy it were. There is a lot of changes that are happening, which is great to see. It's a little bit of like an open development, like a video game has become open development, so this is good to see, especially when they've got more time to develop the game as they're pushing things out. But the game certainly is being designed in a way that it doesn't frustrate you. When you try and craft something and you get it wrong, it won't just say you crafted nothing. It will kind of give you a hint why you didn't craft it correctly. Maybe you need the pointy end of the stick or the flat end of the stone or whatever it would be. Anyway, so this adaptability of the project is what I like to see in a Kickstarter, is where the devs are still willing to evolve it. It's at a stage where it's still malleable, and I really, really like that. And I think the open beta testing probably will continue as we go into the development until they lock down everything. So anyway, here is the final one. It's very exciting actually. It's the Ancient City. This is going to be fantastic because it's going to ask you to build a massive tower, and it's going to be like late game activity, so it's going to be in that open end thing. But when you build such a big infrastructure, maybe it's going to get the attention of the behemoths and they're all going to come and see what it is. That's going to be really cool anyway. So brand new hex, this will be this brand new structure that you're kind of building higher. And I think if there's going to be a secret stretch goal, it'll be if this is a tower that we're building, maybe it will get its own miniature where we can stack it up slowly as we're building it to get higher and higher. That would be splendid, wouldn't it? But I think they need to get to 1,500 CAD to announce what this would be, and then they'll probably announce a bonus stretch goal, is my prediction. They did bring an add-on out, which I'm very happy to see. This is sleeves. The price, $50, might seem pricey. It's these challenge cards. They are tarot-esque cards, and tarot cards are bloody expensive, aren't they, if you've ever sleeved anything with tarots in. So I can understand why it's $50 now. And it says 600 sleeves. It's pushing 700 actually, I think. And what they're not saying here is that it's $35 if you just go in for the base, I think, and $50 if you go in for the expansions. And they just want to double down here by saying it's not included in the all-in pledge. So if you go all in with sleeves, it's going to be $350 on the nose. Ouch. So is it a big game to go all in for a $350 campaign? Well, here's its thing, isn't it? I'm going in $1 anyway, that's for certain. And we'll see, because I need to know how much shipping's going to be and taxes and stuff like that. But who's to say there's not going to be another big Kickstarter out there that's going to be one of these big $500 campaigns? Because last year, Tidal Blades 2 was incredible. Stonesaga looks to be incredible, but it's not as bubbling as Tidal Blades 2. Partly because Stonesaga are keeping a lot of the story to their chest, and we just don't know what the adventure could be. So it's still a little bit of, we're giving you a lot of faith here to the developers. But trust me, what I've seen looks super exciting, super next generation. I love it. I absolutely recommend you go in. And if you can't afford it, don't worry. $1 pledge in, like everybody else. There's quite a lot of us on the $1 pledge. It's not actually showing us up, is it? I don't like showing you being a $1 pledger, but trust us, there is an army of us in there, and we simply want to wait for the shipping, especially as a lot of Kickstarters are asking more money for shipping and all this stuff, so we can actually decide things down the road. Maybe the Kickstarter wasn't enough, and I think from most of the big games that I really recommend, I'm really, really excited about, I think this one is the one that I really think $1 pledges might be the best way forward, actually, because maybe we will get more of the story announced of what it will be later on down the pipe. And when they get a first prototype copy out, maybe more information will come down before we've got to lock in our shipping and stuff like this. So it could be a a little bit of a nice strategy anyway to take. So it's super low risk, $1. High reward though, isn't it? But, you know, if I simply had the funds, I would be just going in all in anyway. I would have added $50 to the pledge for my $350, but I just don't have the disposable income for that. Especially when I'm very tentatively trying to save up for the massive Kickstarter crowdfunding special that will be Gloomhaven Minis over at over on a different crowdfunding site, isn't it? So Crowdsource, Crowd something. I can't remember which one it is. That's the one I've got money for. But otherwise, Stonesaga, I look to be late backing you, of course, all that good stuff, and I'm so happy for the sleeves to become as an add-on. So fantastic Kickstarter, Stonesaga. I know, I feel sorry for you. You couldn't really tell us everything that's going on in the story because it's all about the mystery adventure, isn't it, that you're going on? And, you know, potentially having different playthroughs on different characters because you do two different things. One might set up a mega base and one might be nomadic. And that's two definite paths that you can go on in this game, and worthy of two playthroughs and all this good stuff. It just looks phenomenal, peeps. Real next generation Kickstarter project. I think it's going to be fabulous and all that good stuff. So there you go. I think I've said my piece on Stonesaga. Looking amazing, and we do highly recommend it. So let me know your thoughts, what you thought of Stonesaga. Did it blow you away as I have? And are you $1 pledging like I am? And what are you looking forward to that might compete with the $350 pledge of Stonesaga? I really want to know what that could be. So thank you so much for watching Kickstarter Radio. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you.